Good afternoon, everybody. It is Tuesday, May the 16th, and I want to talk today about this idea of the crowded trade. So what is the crowded trade? The crowded trade is basically the sector or the part of the market where everybody's putting their money into for one reason or another. Crowded trade could be internet stocks back in 2000. It could be home builders and also financials in 2006 and 2007. It could have been tech stocks into the tail end of 2020. There's always some segment of the market that people are piling money into. Right now, the crowded trade is money market. And now we've got some phenomenal money market programs that I've spoken with a lot of clients about. A great benefit of everything that we've seen in the last year with the Fed raising rates is actually you get some yield now parking cash. That's a new thing. We hadn't seen that for a long time. And that can be real appealing. But I think it's becoming the crowded trade. Now, if you've got to hold cash for a variety of reasons, then awesome. You can do it now. You can actually get some yield. But if you're looking at it in terms of a long-term investment solution, I think that's a mistake. Right now, a lot of the conversations that I'm having with people, they're scared. They're very nervous about the economy, about what's happening in the world. They're obviously nervous about the financial markets. 2022, by every measure, was a challenging year. There's no question about that. And so they're looking and saying, I can park my money in cash. It's going to be safe. I'm now actually getting some return. And I can understand the attraction in that. But you're seeing that they're basically positioning themselves as if the worst is going to happen. And I'm going to give you a couple examples of that. So a real good buddy of mine who is in the steel business, steel distribution company. So for example, Maytag needs X number of tons of steel of this specific grade. They'll source at the mills, put the supply chain together, do all that for them. What he is seeing is he's seeing a lot of other of his competitors not holding steel, because steel went from about $800-900 before COVID. It went to about 2,000. It's sitting around 1,100 or so. Everybody's waiting to get about $800-900 a ton again. So they're sitting on the sidelines. They're not buying steel. That's number one. His customers that need steel to run their business are not buying steel because they're waiting for the price to go down, which is why I did a post on LinkedIn earlier this week. You've got the spot price in hot rolled coil is actually significantly higher than where it is if you're going out to November, December. The mills, however, have increasing lead times, which means that they're not sitting on a glut of steel. So you've got all these people, and I'm going to drag this into the greater discussion when I finish here, but you've got all these people that need steel in this case to run their business, that need steel in order to generate a profit, but they're waiting because they think something bad's going to happen. Hold that thought now. I have another client that has some really good performing commercial real estate. It's paid for. It's generating quite a bit of income for him. The question I got was, should I sell this? And I said, well, why would you want to do that? He said, well, because commercial real estate market, there's challenges. And yeah, absolutely there is. But long-term tenant, kicking off great cash flow, why would you sell it and pay a giant tax on an asset that's performed very well for you for a lot of years? And then you look at money market holdings, which I just discussed. There is more cash sitting on the sidelines in money markets than ever in history. So again, this idea of the crowded trade. The crowded trade is money market accounts, but it's also, the crowded trade's based on this idea that there's going to be some big shoe to drop, some kind of apocalyptic event, something that's going to give everybody the chance to rush in, not only to buy stocks and bonds at cheaper prices, but also to buy stuff they need to run their business. So in the case of the steel business, if you need X number of tons of steel to build your product, you've depleted all your inventories and you're waiting till you can get it less for less of a price, but so are all your competitors. So are all the suppliers. The mills have increasing lead times. So what happens if the worst doesn't happen? What happens if all that cash sitting on the sidelines, we get a sigh of relief in the sense maybe the Fed stops tightening, maybe we get some kind of a ceasefire in Ukraine, tensions in Taiwan reduce a little bit. I mean, there's any number of catalysts that could significantly take the pressure out of the global economy and just so the world in general that everybody's feeling. What if any of those things do happen? What if we actually do see solid economic growth in the second half of the year? What if we don't get the hard landing that everybody fears? What if everything is actually not as bad as people think? Well, then you got the crowded trade. You got all this cash sitting on the sidelines. Is it going to buy stocks? Is it going to buy bonds? Is it going to buy real estate? Is it going to get involved in private equity? Is it going to get involved in ARB funds? Is it going to get involved in any number of productive ways that these resources can then go out in the world and make some money? I don't know the answer to that. I do know this. In now 25 plus years of being involved in the financial markets, the financial markets tend to reward people that have patience and spend time in the markets. They tend to exact a cost and a toll on people that try to time the markets or try to outsmart the markets. And so with that, I know, a lot of people, there's a lot of apprehension out there, but think about that. The crowded trade's cash right now. The crowded trade is people waiting for an opportunity to get involved in investments at what they believe will be a better price. The crowded trade is based on doom and gloom. What if doom and gloom doesn't come? What happens to the crowded trade? Anyway, love to hear your thoughts. If you stay with me for 6 minutes, as always, appreciate it. Look forward to the next one.